We are back now with the Channel 3 exclusive, and we are giving you an in-depth look inside your children's classrooms.
We teamed up with 2 teacher unions here in the state to get their take really on a variety of topics and issues that are happening right now in public schools. And tonight, we are looking at standardized testing. So we want to know, do you think it helps or hurts students?
So head to our website right now to take part in our live poll. Here right now, though, is Channel 3's Courtney Zeller.
For some students, it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety because they are constantly studying. And teachers explain it's taking away from their social skills. Mother of 2, Josie Cook, says her middle and high schoolers hit the books often.
Girl thing, because she's very focused on her studies. Every night she's making sure she studies. She has an agenda that she makes sure that everything that if she has a test, that she makes sure she studies ahead of time for it. So my son, I think he's like more on the fly, like whatever he needs to study for at that moment, that's when he studies.
And it can be a lot of pressure to do well.
I do feel the stress. I feel like the kids are testing a lot lately, and it's not just a standardized test, it's also the district assessments that they have, so it's a combination of both. So I do feel like there's a lot of unnecessary tests.
All this testing can be tough on some kids.
For our more vulnerable or more complex students, it can really be a trying experience to get through. And it has a toll. Every year it gets incrementally harder.
We partnered with the CEA and the American Federation of Teachers Connecticut, the 2 teacher unions in the state, to conduct a one-of-a-kind survey of our state's teachers. We asked educators a variety of questions, including student testing. 3rd through 8th graders in public school take a computer-based test called Smarter Balance Assessment Consortium, or SBAC, which focuses on English and math. The data from the result lets school districts know if they're meeting the Common Core standards. We asked teachers about these. What effects do government-mandated standardized teaching and testing methods have on education? 42% of teachers say Common Core state standards have negatively affected instruction, and 51% of teachers say SBAC has negatively affected instruction in my classroom. Manchester High School math teacher Kate Diaz has seen this.
So you have students who have lots of skills and abilities and talents that are in no way, shape, or form reflected on standardized assessments. And we've dismissed all of those, that unless it falls into these specific categories, we're essentially saying we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to value that. And I think that's the dismissive nature of testing.
Teachers who chimed in on the survey say testing weeks are extremely triggering for low-performing students. Kids are not allowed to be kids anymore. I feel as though the people who are in charge have no idea what they are asking. Young students should spend less time on standardized testing. Some professionals say the data from all this testing isn't showing much.
Very recent studies have shown that in the states that aggressively adopted the Common Core standards, the measuring of progress in math and English hasn't really changed in terms of where students were 10 years ago and where they are today.
We also asked teachers, are schools placing enough emphasis on students' social growth versus academic growth? Almost 70% of teachers answered no.
Anytime you sit kids down and you tell them to sit quietly for hours at a time, you're certainly detracting from a social opportunity.
One teacher says many elementary school students are lacking social skills. Basic skills such as eye contact and personal space are not in place. This in turn causes struggles with self-awareness, anger management, self-control, and a variety of interpersonal skills. Other teachers say schools need to place a heavier focus on social and emotional learning rather than academics. Suicide rates have skyrocketed. The downward spiral of social, emotional behaviors are evident daily. There is little time to address them as rigid academics, testing, and constant data input takes over instructional time.
The anxiety and stress of our youngest kids, kindergarten, first grade, is unprecedented. We haven't seen this before. We expect kids now to come to kindergarten ready to learn and already knowing certain things.
Kindergarten teacher Amy Ferrier knows that all too well. She says there's a lot of pressure to get kids to that next level.
But it's still, you want to balance that social piece that kindergartners need and young kids need with, okay, well, I have to get from point A to point B by the end of the year. So it does. It's a challenging goal. You want kids to be kids, but yet you need to prep them and have them be ready for the next grade.
All of this testing could have an impact on the trades like carpentry, electrical work, and plumbing. Teachers explain how it is affecting students who want to go into these fields. That's tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock. I'm Courtney Zeller, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Courtney, thank you. Certainly pretty interesting, that's for sure. And as we said at the beginning, we want to know what you think about this. Does standardized testing help or hurt students?
Yeah, right now you can see at the bottom of your screen the live results from our Vote Now live poll. Apparently more than 200 people have voted, and as you can see, 90% of people out there think standardized testing hurts students compared to 10% believing it helps.
Pretty overwhelming right now, but keep voting. You can also check out the results online as well.